Hey guys, welcome back. I know it's been a while. There's a lot been going on, but I wanted to talk about something important today that was kind of inspired by conversations that I've been having lately, and that is motorcycles and mental health. I'm going to talk about the main reasons that a motorcycle is great for mental health and the main reasons why it's not. Yeah. And not going to preach to you. I'm going to share with you my own experiences because I think it's important that even though I do have knowledge in this subject, it's part of what I do professionally. Um, I want to share my own personal experiences with you, which makes it relevant. So, do I use my motorcycles for mental health? And was that the reason I got into bike riding? No, it wasn't. The reason I got into bike riding was kind of like it was always in the back of my mind. I always saw myself as a rider, and but just the years went by, things happened, and I got back on a bike after 25 years, and now I'm a bike rider. Now I'm a motorcyclist, right? Go figure. But it was never for mental health when I first started. It was something that was on my bucket list or something that was in me to ride a motorcycle. Um, but I could see as I got more and more into it and past that sort of fear stage, because I don't care who you are, the first time you ride any type of motorcycle, it can be scary, you know what I mean? And I'm man enough to admit I was pretty scared when I first started riding. But after I passed that fear stage of um, like being worried about everything to like, okay, I can relax a bit. I can concentrate on the road and I have a bit of a skill level now. I did honestly feel the merits of it. And I can tell you now what the number one reason was that I found that it helped me was you go into a flow state, right? And so what is a flow state? Flow state is when you do something repetitive that you don't have to use a lot of your cognitive mind. It's a lot of muscle memory. You're using a lot of systems in your conscious and your subconscious and your body, but you're not thinking too hard about it. It's all second nature to you. Yeah. And you also enjoy it. So there's this kind of cathartic kind of state that they call the flow state. And if you check brain waves and if you hooked up um, a sort of all sorts of measuring devices, you would see that it's very similar to states that people get dancing, in meditation, doing all sorts of things, creating artwork. It's very similar. Yeah. Um, some people get it driving. I think driving is a different thing altogether. But we're talking about motorcycles now. So you get into a flow state. And what the flow state does, it keeps you in a kind of anchors you into the present. It helps you ground. You kind of you stop thinking about things. You stop worrying about things. You stop worrying about the future and worrying about this and I've got to do this and I've got to do that. You kind of stay in the moment and you don't worry about the past. Riding a motorcycle requires a lot of constant concentration. Yeah. Um, and when you first learn it, it's what's called um, conscious competence. Yeah, you've learned something, but you're consciously thinking about everything you got to do. When I need to change gears, cover my brakes, look out for all sorts of people. After you've been riding for a while and you get experience, it's just like anything; it becomes second nature. Your automatic systems take over. Yeah, so you are still looking at those people, but you're not using too much brain power to do it. Yeah, it's all in the reflexes, as Jack Burton would say. It's and so you get into a state where you can sort of look up at the sky and you can look at the scenery a little bit, yeah, and then you start enjoying yourself and you start feeling more and more at peace. Yeah, so that flow state is a kind of like taps into a small version inner peace. Yeah, I'm not saying you're going to be a Zen monk. I'm certainly not a Zen monk on the road, but I do feel a sense of peace. If we've got a little bit of open road, we've passed the traffic, even if there's a little bit of traffic around, um, there is for those brief moments that flow sense of peace, that inner peace. Yeah. That there's not much else out there that comes close to that. There's not much else out there that comes close to that. And I'm going to talk about the downsides of that, but because it can be very addictive. But it's a beautiful thing. And if you ride a motorcycle, you've always got that in your pocket. If it's a clear day out, get on an open road somewhere if you can find one. Right. Good luck in Sydney, but get out of the city. You know, go find an open road somewhere. Just go for a cruise, and you'll know what I'm talking about. And you can get the same thing running. You can get the same. In fact, running's a little bit different because you've got a lot more going on. You get that runner's high, but like jogging, walking, you can get into a flow state. But like I said again, there's something about a motorcycle that gets you there far quicker. Yeah. Another thing that helps with mental health is having fun, man. Having fun. I mean, it's riding motorcycles, riding bikes is fun. That's why I have so many, right? Well, I don't have that many right now, but that's why I've had so many. And that's why I like riding all different types of motorcycles because it's fun. Anyone that says they get a motorcycle for practical applications, I would question it unless it's like, let me give you an example. Here in Sydney, registration is not that much cheaper than a regular car. A little four-cylinder car, it's not that much cheaper. Insurance, not that much cheaper. All right. Maintenance. Maintenance is cheaper. I mean, you can do it yourself. You do it yourself a lot of time, but it is a bit cheaper with maintenance and fuel. Obviously, they're a more economical vehicle, but then you have to buy your gear, and so I'll do that on another video. But you're not buying a motorcycle 9 times out of 10 for practical reasons. You're buying it because you might give yourself the excuse it's practical, but it's a fun thing to do. It's a exciting thing to do. It's an exhilarating thing to do for a lot of people. And I'm not an adrenaline junkie by any means, but I enjoy it. Yeah, it ticks a lot of boxes for me. It makes me feel very free, right? And freedom's not even on the list for this mental health because it can be an artificial sense of freedom. Yeah. So it's just fun, and we need fun in our lives. I need fun in my life. Who says that when a man gets to a certain age, life is just about, the only fun you're allowed to have is watching sports and drinking and the occasional love making. Yeah. It's not true. You can still have fun. Screw the people that say you can't. Right? Enjoy life. You don't have to act like a teenager or you're in your 20s, but you can enjoy things. And again, screw anyone that says you can't. Because we're not dead. You know what I mean? People can enjoy their life. Now, the fun aspect brings me into another reason. It's connection. Yeah. It's usually when you're having fun, if you're a social person, and I am a social person, but if you're a social person, bike riding, you can have a connection with a lot of people with it. You talk to other bike riders. I've had many conversations with bike riders. We'll always chat about bikes. That's a common connection. We can be from totally different walks of life and still talk about the bikes bring us together. Yeah. Or the lifestyle brings us together. There's something about someone that rides a motorcycle that connects them to other people that do as well. They're choosing certain type of lifestyle. I'm not talking about the weekend warrior, someone that rides their bike once every 6 months when the conditions are absolutely perfect. I'm talking about people that actually enjoy riding and they'll ride on a regular basis, right? So some people that don't have, and this doesn't really apply to me because I'm more of a lone wolf in my own personal experience. It was my need. I meet a lot of people. I talk to a lot of people. I don't need. I'm more of an introvert, to be honest. I can be an extrovert. I can stand in front of a room and talk to 1,000 people, not a problem. But I personally, I'm a bit more of an introvert. I'm a bit more of a lone wolf. I like my time to myself. I like riding a motorcycle. I like riding my own ride. Um, but it can be cool to ride with other people. Don't get me wrong. It can be cool to have that connection, go on a trip with other people. There's motorcycle community in general. It's a microcosm of larger society. So you will get really great people. Most people that you meet riding motorcycles will be awesome, helpful. Um, you know, out there to lend a hand or give you some information. You go on the forums, there's tons of great people. And there's douchebags, just like society. And there's douchebags with huge egos who are up themselves. You're going to get that everywhere. Just avoid those guys, right? They usually ride sports bikes. Yeah, everyone knows I hate sports bikes. But you know what? You've got that connection. It's an easy way to have connection. And someone that's an introvert but still wants a connection, it's a great way to have it. Yeah, because it's not about you; it's about the bikes, and you have that in that lifestyle. Um, so it brings me to the next reason. The reason I enjoy it, the reason I find it fun, the reason I get into that flow state and use it for mental health is because it's alone time for me. Alone time for an introvert is hugely important. Hugely important. It's how you recharge the batteries. And I do many things. I do many things, and I meditate on a regular basis. I do many things to recharge my batteries. But when I'm on that bike in a flow state and I have nowhere to be and nothing really to do, you know what I mean? Because one of my jobs is a motorcycle courier. And check out those videos. But you've got somewhere to be, you know what I mean? It's very different. And you're on a time constraint. But when I'm not, when I'm riding for the enjoyment and the fun, that alone time is gold. That alone time is gold. You really, it's like the amount of reflection you get, self-reflection and reflection on your life that comes through. Yeah. Like I said, during a flow state, you're not consciously thinking about anything, but you get all these things come through. And that's why when I do motor vlogs and stuff like that, a lot of stuff just comes through. I'm not really thinking about it. I'm not really filtering it. So if you check out my motor vlogs, they're not really filtered. I'm not really going, oh, what would the audience like to hear? I'm just channeling stuff. Stuff's coming through. So for me, alone time's a big one. For me, alone time and being in flow and just having fun are three main reasons that I find it helps me with my mental health. And again, if you're a bit more of an extrovert or if you need more connection with people, you have connection, community, and even family, right? And it's a way to have some kind of significance to someone that doesn't feel significant. Yeah. Now, those are all the positive things. Those are all the positive things with mental health, yeah. And that's a few because everyone is going to be different. And then, like I said, I'm using my example. But where it can become a negative is, and I think I've fallen into this category, is when you become addicted to anything. And an addiction to anything is detrimental. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, because we're all addicted to something. We work off different addictions, right? Some addictions are in balance, some are in harmony, some are not. But we are creatures of addiction, right? It drives us, yeah, on some level. Not all addictions are bad. And being addicted to the gym is not a terrible thing. Being addicted to helping people is not a terrible thing. But when it does become harmful or detrimental to you is when it's out of balance with the rest of your life. Yeah. So a good friend of mine who's been riding bikes his entire life said, just be careful using it. Because I said, oh, it's great for my mental health. And he was very, you know, very quick to say, don't get too addicted to it. And we had a chat about it. And I said, yeah, I can totally understand how it's very addictive. I bought 3 bikes very quickly. I think I had 3 bikes within the space of a year, and just rotating through the different bikes. And that's the kind of person I am. I jump into things, jump into my hobbies. But I said, look, I understand your concern, but I do a lot of stuff. I literally work with mental health as part of my job. I do a lot of stuff for myself. But I can see how it will be destructive if you don't do anything else. If you've got serious mental health issues and you don't do anything else, then motorcycle riding is just a distraction. It's just a band-aid that you'll become addicted to because it's your only sense of relief. Yeah. So my plea to you is if that you feel that you have like real mental health issues, don't use a motorcycle to fix them. By all means, ride a motorcycle if you enjoy it, but you do need fun in your life. But address the deeper core issues, yeah? Because at best, the motorcycle will, just like anything, drugs, sex, alcohol, whatever distraction, your career, whatever it is, it will be a temporary fix because you'll always want more and more and more and more and more. And in the motorcycle community, you know that, you see that, you always want, you always know when that guy is using bikes to fill a massive void, a massive hole in their life. Yeah. And it's never going to be enough. It's to a ridiculous point. I'm not like that. I'm not like that. My bikes definitely, I know they know their place. They became a big part of my life really quick, and I enjoy them. But I understand very quickly that at best it's a superficial or a complementary thing towards helping with mental health. It's not the only thing, right? If you use it as the only thing, it's going to be short-lived. It's like everything else in your life that you've noticed, like your relationships, like all your other addictions, they're just going to burn up. It's not going to be satisfying. So how do you know that? It's because you want more. You always want more. You're not satisfied with the however much you're riding or the bike that you have, or now you might say to yourself, oh, it's the bike. I've outgrown this bike. It's not the bike, right? It's just that you've forgotten how to have fun on the bike. You need more. So you get your bigger bike, and then it's, whatever. Now, I'm not saying I won't do that, but I will do my best to make sure it's not a distraction from other mental health issues, right? And if you might be listening to this, and if you watched it, till this far in, you obviously believe that there's some connection there, right? Or you wanted to see if there was some kind of secret or something that you connected with or resonated with. I mean, the fact is, we're all different, but on a subconscious level, we're all very, very similar, right? On a take all the egos aside and take all the personality traits aside, we're all very, very similar. Yeah. I mean, so modern day psychology tries to make everything very complicated. And by putting you in all little pegs and boxes, but we're all human beings at the end of the day. And if you understand the fundamentals of how the subconscious work, you can simplify your life a lot. So I think that's a long way around. It's a long way around getting to my point, which was motorcycles are a complementary way for me to meet some of my mental health needs, right? It's not the only way. And I don't recommend it ever be the only way. Yeah. So put it in balance, enjoy it. I hope this helps. It can be a sensitive subject, but if anyone's got anything they want to share, please drop it in the comments. If you want more videos like this, let me know. Hit me up in the comments. I'm happy to do them. Give it a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you out there. Take care of yourself, guys.